Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm taking a look at the MiG-19 PT. Now, as many of you may know, this is one of the brand new Tier 6 aviation vehicles that was added in War Thunder Update 1.85, and this thing is a beast. In terms of rating, it sits at 10.0, and in terms of weaponry, it does only have two 30mm cannons. They are NR30 cannons, and it has 70 rounds per gun, which may not seem like much, but if you use those rounds sparingly, they will last you for at least a few kills in a game, if you can get used to sort of putting the right lead on the guns and being efficient with the ammunition. Now, once you've researched the modification for the air-to-air missiles, this will carry two R3S air-to-air missiles. These are effectively reverse-engineered sidewinders. They're the same missiles that the F-100 uses, so in terms of balance between those two aircraft in their missile performance capabilities, it's fairly similar. Of course, though, the F-100 does carry 4 missiles rather than just the 2. In terms of crew, of course, it's a single-seat fighter, so it's one crew member. Max speed is 868 miles per hour. A bit of speed is taken off when you have the missiles on, but only not much whatsoever, really. And max alt is literally top map altitude at 52,000 feet. Turn time of 32 seconds. Climb rate is 140 meters per second. That is absolutely blazing it right there, and a takeoff run of 1,640 feet, which really isn't too bad for a later jet. And of course, required RP is 390,000 RP, which is in line with all of the other top tier vehicles in the game right now. But anyway, now that I've quickly shot through those stats, let's go to what you guys really want to see. Let's go take a look at some actual gameplay with this aircraft. So I started off this game in Berlin by overflying majority of the enemy aircraft. Now I'm coming down and I'm going to begin to head in towards the sort of mass group where everyone appears to be fighting. And I'm going to try and surprise an enemy aircraft that's already sort of occupied with another friendly. So I do get my eyes on this little A5 Sabre who's off heading towards some other friendly aircraft. So I head in on him. He doesn't seem to be expecting me. I think he spotted me at the last moment and tried to do an evasive maneuver, although I was able to put the right amount of lead on my guns. And with these guns, they are very rewarding in the way that if you can learn how to use them and put the right amount of lead on, you will basically kill the enemy aircraft every time. These rounds are incredibly powerful, so if you can hit the right place, you will always kill the enemy target, which is definitely very rewarding. Now, to finish off this game, I did get an assist. There was this Valtor running away, the bomber variant actually, so no guns. I did fire a missile on him. Unfortunately, that other MiG did get a missile to him just before me and got the kill, but you know, even after he was killed, my missile actually hit and gave me an assist, which was definitely pretty satisfying. I didn't expect that to actually happen, but it did, which was pretty good. And that was the end of the first game. 1 kill, 1 assist, and I didn't die, so that's a nice little bonus there. So now on to the next game. That next game is on Korea, a map that is fairly well known to most jet players, and you know what, the first kill I got was on this F-100 that I'm chasing down. This kill was very much luck on my part. I was just sort of spraying rounds everywhere, although luckily he was doing some weird maneuvers and he went right into my rounds and lost a wingtip, which put him into a flat spin, and then he smashed into the side of a mountain, which did give me my first kill of the game. Which, you know, I was pretty happy with, but again, I wasn't being very skillful with the guns, which was a bit annoying. I prefer to get kills where I know I sort of played the best I could, but, you know, I got the kill, so that was good. Next kill is on this Sabre, who is ground-pounding for some reason when surrounded by MiG-19s. I don't really see the logic in him doing that, but nonetheless, I get a decent kill. Basically just go in on him, a few shots, rip him to shreds, and he explodes. That was what I was talking about, by the way, by these rounds being powerful. A few rounds hit him, and he just exploded. Now, I do go back to the airfield after that. I was low on ammunition, so I thought, yeah, I'll go back to the airfield. So after a touchdown and a repair, I was able to get back into the air, and I didn't get any more kills, although I did fly close to the enemy airfield and did get a nasty hit from anti-aircraft guns, but luckily, I survived until the end of the game to get a no deaths, 2-kill game. The next game was on the map Afghanistan, which, along with Tier 6 Aviation, was also added in War Thunder Update 1.85, and it is definitely more of a jet map. First off, it's a very big map, and second off, it has a very strange airfield positioning, where the friendly and enemy airfields are almost parallel to each other on the map, which I do find rather interesting, and it does mean you can actually sneak around and get behind the enemy fighters. But this game, anyway, was more of a attack tier 5s. The enemy team were mostly made up of F-86s, not really many F-100s. I started off by attacking this F-2 Sabre. He was being tricky, but I think he made a bad reversal attempt, and I was able to actually knock him out with that. By getting my guns in just the right position. The next aircraft I faced up with was the brand new premium Sabre, the F-35, which is basically, I believe, an F-25, only with a different camouflage. But nonetheless, I came on him. He again was doing tricky maneuvers, which actually was slowing him down and allowing me to catch up. Luckily, again, I was able to get my guns just on target when he tried to do a reversal, and I was able to destroy his aircraft. So definitely, these guns are very good at ripping Sabres apart. So, you know, one thing that you are definitely going to have fun with this aeroplane. Anyway, though, another 2-kill, no-death game. Definitely a result that I am fairly happy with. Now, in this game, I was not quite as lucky. I was actually killed in this game, but the main reason I wanted to show this was to demonstrate a specific thing, that being a missile kill on something that's going faster and higher than you. There's this Valtor you can see here. He was going faster, so I switch on the missile lock, wait for it to go red, and I fire the missile. And what you will see is just how fast these missiles catch up to an enemy target. And when they hit it, well, they do a lot of damage. As you can see there, it sort of intercepted it. As soon as it hit, that was a kill for me. Now, remember I said I was killed, and it is a good demonstration of sort of saying always watch your 6. Make sure that, you know, don't tunnel vision like I am now. Make sure you know where the enemy aircraft are, because they will jump in and rip you to shreds. Now, that death did also very well demonstrate the main adversary of the MiG-19, the F-100 Super Sabre. Now, the main risk to you with the F-100 is the guns. 4 20mm revolver cannons, their muzzle velocity is far higher than your rounds. So especially when you're doing a head-on attack against an F-100, his rounds will hit you before yours hit his. So definitely be very careful with that, as well as the fact that it fires a lot more rounds per second than the MiG-19. It's likely that if his guns get on you before your guns get on him, you will be dead. So do always keep a good 360 scope. The spotting system can be a bit iffy, especially in jet games. I think it's just the speed that enemy aircraft come up towards you. It doesn't have time to actually trigger the spotting system. So do definitely keep that in mind, and keep a good eye out for enemy aircraft moving in, because especially with supersonics, they may come up on you incredibly fast. So keep a good scope around. Make sure you know where all the enemy aircraft are on the battlefield, just to minimize the risk of them coming in and ripping you to pieces. But nonetheless, that was the end of that game. I did, of course, get that F-100 kill where I knocked off his wing, which will always kill them, by the way. The wings of the F-100 are very large, a very big target. If you can knock the wing off, he's either going to be killed instantly, or he's going to be put into a flat spin, and you should get the kills. So definitely a good thing to aim for on the F-100 there. And that was the end of the game with 1 kill. So now for the final game of this video. It's probably the game I was most happy with out of all these games. I start off by engaging this Sabre. I do actually try and engage the missile lock. I do get a lock, but unfortunately he began to turn and the missile wouldn't have hit. So what I do is I flip upside down to get better pitch control, and then I fire some shots, and luckily I clip the back of his aircraft, which does give me my first kill of the game. Second kill of the game was a bit more interesting. Before the second kill, my pilot was actually blacked out. Just as the pilot comes out of blackout, I engage the missile lock, I get that lock, fire the missile off, and luckily the enemy aircraft did turn away at the last minute, but I was able to just clip him and kill him with that missile. So that is the second kill of the game. And after that kill, I decided to head back to the airfield. I was low on missiles and ammunition, so I go and land, and unfortunately at this point it's me versus 2 enemy aircraft. And after repairing, I see one of them coming in, so I'm going to J out, because I don't want to get killed on the airfield. So I J out just as he comes in, his shots miss, he hits the ground, that's another enemy out. So now it is a 1 versus 1. And this is where the game begins to get rather interesting for me. So it just so happens that this last other enemy has 5 kills. I know that in an air 1v1, I will not beat him whatsoever. So what I do is I do find him, and he is on the airfield. So I circle the airfield. I was actually hit by anti-aircraft guns, which do damage my aircraft quite a bit. But, you know, they tried to airfield camp me. So now I'm going to airfield camp him. And he's the last on his team. All it takes is the last few shots from my guns, and I get the kill. And now my aircraft's on fire. If I die now, their team will win because they have far more points than my team. So what I have to do is I have to climb. I have to climb fast so that I don't get out my aircraft as soon as possible. So I pull up, and I just need to get to altitude. I need to get away from the airfield and try and survive as long as possible. Luckily I do, and that is a 3-kill game for me. The last kill I wasn't really happy with, but, you know, I had to end the game, so I did it to end the game. But there we go, the MiG-19 PT. It is a very fun airplane, one of the most fun jets I've ever flown, and I find it is actually fairly accessible. The one thing that annoys me is when you're flying at high speed, the rudder locks up. The other surfaces not so much, but the rudder very heavily locks up, and also the wing ripping is really inconsistent. Sometimes at low altitude you can pull like a 12G turn and not have the wing rip, but then at a lower speed you do a 9G turn and it'll rip the wings. So there's a few iffy things with the aircraft that I would like to see improved once guys are back from their Christmas holidays and have time to get in and actually improve all of these things from the update. But anyway, it is an aircraft I would definitely advise any fans of Russian aviation to check out once they have a chance to research it. Anyway though, that is the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please consider smashing the like button, maybe even subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you do, that would be very much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.